Rick, coming from Georgia, trying to bring up the attitude and coming SEC guy. Georgia got tired of it because he wasn't doing enough. He wasn't winning. It's almost like he got the same type of tradition over here in Miami. Not winning important games. I can understand the Clemson game. First thing first, the Pitt game should have never happened. Never should have happened. The Clemson game, I ain't think they had enough talent to keep with Clemson last season. So I understand that one. Wisconsin, they should have won that game. And LSU did something that I said earlier in the week. Do not let Miami take out the turnover chain. Once that turnover chain take out, it's like voodoo or something. They take it out, they all of a sudden they get hyped, they get happy, and all hell normally breaks loose. That's when it normally starts. They did not let them take out the turnover chain. So on that note, that's pretty good. Put it to you like this: there was 3 coaches I thought that needed this game, that needed to win week 1, day 1 to make a statement to the fans, and that was Ed Orgeron. To me, that was Mark Richt being on a 3-game losing streak, and also Tom. excuse me. Tom Herman was also the other one as well. The reason why I throw Tom Herman in there, 2 years back to back losing to Maryland, back to back is not too good for Texas to start. And to start selling your fans, not too great. Not too great at all. But I say Mark Richt, because Mark Richt got something to prove to Miami, because Miami really had a legitimate chance, beat the number 2 ranked team in the country last year and losing, now being on a 4-game losing streak. Then they had dominant performances at one point in time. They dominated against Notre Dame. They did beat Florida State last year, but Florida State had a bad year. I don't really know he got something to prove to his fans. Ed Orgeron, he came out, that's one for Ed. Ed, to me, when they play Auburn, not this week, but next week, is going to tell it all about how mature this team really is. The team got a lot of things to work on, if you ask me. First thing first, you can't overrun tackles. You gotta, they did a lot of goofy stuff last night. Overrunning tackles. They got a little lazy at the end when they had 2 back-to-back pass interferences. You gotta work on a couple of things. They are very disciplined. I find Miami is not disciplined at all when it comes to being on the defensive side of the ball, watching the football, small things, being fundamentally sound, not disciplined. I think Miami got a long way to go. I think they can still fix their season if Florida State come up and they beat Florida State, but that's a big if. We're going to see what they're working with tonight. So I'm proud of LSU. Put one in the record book for Ed Orgeron. I think Ed still got a while to go. Just try to weather this season. It's the roughest schedule, I think, in team history. We're going to see how that's going to roll out for Mr. Ed Orgeron and the Tigers. Let's talk about some of the top 25 games over the weekend that happened. Just want to talk about the biggest one to me was Auburn and Washington. Auburn did come back and win that game, 21-16. West Virginia beat the snot out of Tennessee, 40-14 over the weekend. The big one. Alabama put 51 on Louisville, 51-14. Not really too many big games that really happened over the weekend. Not too many big games, not really, to be honest with you. Michigan and Notre Dame was a good one. It was. Shea Patterson, he fumbled at the end. I feel a little bad for little Shea. I thought Shea was going to get that one, drive him down the field and try to win the game, but he didn't. I'm trying to give y'all the score right quick. I don't have it in front of me right now. 24-17 was the final score for Notre Dame and Michigan over the weekend. Boise and Troy. I want to make a comment about that one. Boise State beat Troy, and you would think Troy was at home. Boise came down here. Troy probably had a lot of confidence beating LSU last year, but Boise State probably went prepared and said, we're not going to let these boys beat us. So they beat them by 36 points over the weekend. So let's move on to Florida State and Virginia Tech, tonight's game at 7 o'clock on ESPN. I'm going to say it like this. I want to see what's new to Florida State. DeAndre Francois coming back after the injury, week 1 injury last year to Alabama in Atlanta. I want to see how good this team really is. Willie Taggart said something at the Independence Bowl this past year when he was with the team, didn't coach the team, but he was with the team. He said this would be the last time you see Florida State in a huddle. So there's going to be a lot of up-tempo stuff. And my biggest thing I want to see is Virginia Tech's defense going to be able to stick with the up-tempo offense that Florida State going to put out tonight. Now, I respect DeAndre Francois because DeAndre Francois, to me, if you ask me, on Alabama's schedule last year, Francois had to be one of the best that they played last season on their schedule. I'm not talking about in the postseason, on their schedule. To me, it would be him and Stidham was probably the best 2 quarterbacks that Alabama had on their schedule last year. Now, why you say that about Alabama? Because I said it, I'm going to still say it, and we haven't seen it yet, but when you have your chances, you have to hit the big plays on Alabama. Francois hit some big plays in that game last year before he got knocked out. And then all momentum was lost for the Seminoles. So he hit plays. So now what? I think Francois going to come in tonight, real posed, got something to prove. They say he came out to earn the spot to be the quarterback for the Florida State Seminoles. And I think he's going to come out tonight, he's going to come out swinging with a good team. And I think it's hard for me to see Virginia Tech prepared before because you really don't know what you're getting. You can't watch really spring practice because spring practice, you're not showing all your personnel and you're not showing all your different type of groups and substitution for a spring game. You can go back and watch Oregon all cut up in films, but you don't know what you're going to get tonight. I think that's in their disadvantage for Virginia Tech, and I think Florida State going to take advantage of that. I give Florida State win this game probably about 14 points. I say 28-14 might be the final score. If that. Maybe 31. Maybe 31. Interested to see how that's going to roll tonight. So we're going to definitely come back and talk about them real soon after on Wednesday's show. When at the aftermath, talk about the top 25 on Wednesday. We're going to talk about the Eagles and the Falcons kicking off the NFL season in a few days. So, all right, let's talk about Khalil Mack going to the Chicago Bears. It's official, the highest paid player, defensive player in NFL history. I think he got $90 million guaranteed. I mean, this dude is one of the best in the games. He was an all-pro at 2 positions. This young man really can play. With that Bears defense, this defense really can be eventually young players with some smooth veterans like Akeem Hicks, Eddie Goldman, Jonathan Bullock. Then they got Leonard Floyd, Adam Olmos, Kyle Fuller. I mean, Eddie Jackson. And now you have that with Khalil Mack. This defense really can be a top 5 defense. And if you think about Chicago's history over the years, the Bears always been a defensive team to get you over. Look at Urlacher, you start thinking about the Buckets and all them guys, and over the years, back when you think about the Chicago Bears. If you ask me, I think this is a good move. He looks like a Bear. I mean, last name is Mack, so he could be Mac Bear. If you ask me, I think this is a beautiful move for the Chicago Bears. And I think now it's just the direction point back to the offensive side of the ball in Mitch Trubisky. Is Mitch Trubisky really the answer? Now, I said this earlier this year when I was talking about division in 8 weeks. I said this before. Is Mitch Trubisky going to take the Bears to the next level? Now, I said 8-8, 7-9. Now you got some more help on defense. You might be able to take it over to about 9-7, 10-6. I think that defense is going to go out and ball with them. And they're going to have fun with them. And they're going to put the offense in positions to make plays. You know, you have to lean on your defense, but the offense is going to be put in better positions than I think that they ever been before. So I want to go out. I want to see if they do get put in better positions in games. Can they compete with the Packers? Can they compete with the Lions? Can they compete with the Vikings? It's all, to me, defensively, I think they can. I think they can slow down all three teams in their division. Offensively is still the biggest question right now. That's what I want to see from the Chicago Bears this year. So, got a lot to look forward to, guys. I'm very, very excited. Look, we had a great weekend to start the year. Still got a long way to go. Once again, we back to our schedule Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Wednesday, we're going to be back, talk a little bit about, once again, the Eagles, the top 25, and the aftermath of Florida State and Virginia Tech. See how that's going to roll through the night. Is there anything else we can talk about Wednesday? I'll be looking for something. I just don't want to keep it all football. But I'll talk a little bit about Southeastern. Try to find a little scouting report about Southeastern, if I can, with the LSU game. And look at some other matchups going into the weekend. For Friday, that's what we'll talk about Friday. Matchups in the weekend. Talk about the Saints going into this Sunday to open up with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. We'll be back Wednesday. We love you guys. I hope y'all enjoy your Labor Day weekend. And we're out.